Welcome to another Real Mob LCN on location. And today we're gonna check out Frankie Cali. Francesco Paolo Augusto Cali, which is his real name, aka Frankie Boy. And we're gonna go check out the home, respectfully, where he was killed by Anthony Camello in Toad Hill, Staten Island. So we're driving right now in the area of Toad Hill, and we are just taking a little ride around just to get to check out the neighborhood a little bit in Staten Island, New York, one of the 5 boroughs. And as we drive, you can see there's a lot of big homes and estates and manors. It's a really, really nice neighborhood, very well kept, and definitely full of wealthy and influential people. So right now we're driving up Hilltop Terrace on the right. As we drive, I'm going to give a little bio on Frankie Cali. Frankie Cali was very well liked in mafia circles. He was 53 years old when he was killed. And he was killed on March 13, 2019. He was born on March 26, 1965 in New York City. So Frankie Cali, although he was part of the Sicilian Zips crew, he was born in New York City, actually. He wasn't born in Italy. His family was born in Sicily. And right now we're taking a look at his house, which is to the right, just beyond this driveway to my right in front of me. There seems to be a car on the driveway now. And to tell you a little bit more about Frankie Cali, even in Howard Beach, Queens, which is right on the border of Brooklyn, people I'm familiar with used to speak very well of Frankie Cali. And this goes back to the early 2000s, talking about like 2001 to 2004. So Frankie Cali was well known in mafia circles. What actually happened on March 13, 2019, when he was killed at 9:20 p.m. in front of his house and in front of his family, Frankie Cali came outside of his house because he heard a crash. His car was parked in the driveway and he heard a crash. So he came outside and he saw Anthony Camello, who was 24 at the time. Now, Anthony Camello was a kid from Staten Island. And for more information, which I know personally from reliable and very close sources, Anthony Camello was a kind of crazy kid that always wanted to be a gangster. And he used to do things like ride quads in the forest with his friends. You know, like any other kids in the neighborhood in Staten Island, suburban area, semi-suburban. And they would drink and do whatever, and they would talk about being gangsters one day. And I also heard that they used to target practice and stuff. He was also very friendly and very close with a former Colombo acting capo by the name of Big Anthony Russo, whose son he was very friendly with, who actually respectfully passed away a few years ago. And they used to talk about being gangsters when they were young. Anthony Camello, after he crashed the car, Frankie Cali came outside. He saw it was Anthony Camello, who was actually stalking Frankie Cali's niece, I believe it was, because he was supposedly madly in love with her or something like that. And when Frankie came out, they had a little argument. Frankie told him to basically leave. But at some point, surveillance cameras show that Frankie actually shook Anthony Camello's hand, which kind of made him unsuspected, which is really sort of surprising because Usually people of that, let's say, rank wouldn't even be alone in certain situations, let alone let their guard down. So Anthony Camello took advantage of that situation and then pulled out a weapon and shot at Frankie Cali about 16 times, hitting him 6 to 8 times in the torso, which killed him almost immediately. I believe he died on the way to the hospital or shortly after reaching the hospital. A little more about Anthony Camello. He's now still in prison. He's playing the crazy act like he's insane. Claims that he's a QAnon and a MAGA nut, or whatever they call it. No politics here. But he also knows and has claimed that him and his family are marked for death. Now, right now, there's supposedly a no-hit order within the LCN, supposedly. But you never know, because things do come around. Frankie Cali was the acting boss in 2019 when he was killed. In 2012, under Jackie the Nose D'Amico, he was appointed underboss. The reason was that Frankie Cali was very close with the Sicilian Mafia in Palermo. They called him the ambassador. He was very close with the Inzerillo family. And he was also called a man of influence. He was also the great nephew of the Bonanno soldiers, well, the brothers they call Bonaventure. Frankie Cali was married to an Inzerillo mafia family from Palermo, and his uncle-in-law was John Gambino. In 2008, Frankie Cali was convicted for racketeering, extortion, and conspiracy. He did 10 months in prison. Frankie Cali grew up in Brooklyn in the Bensonhurst area, and his family owned a video store. Further, Frankie Cali was promoted to capo under Jackie D'Amico. He ran an import and export company, including Circus Fruits, which is on Fort Hamilton Parkway and 60th Street in Brooklyn, which I'm real familiar with. It's also alleged that Frankie Cali was also a member of the Sicilian Cosa Nostra. Well, this has been another Real Mob LCN on location, and I'm gonna drive by slow so you can get a better look at the house on Hilltop Terrace where Frankie Cali, unfortunately, was killed in 2019.